and welcome to our very first lecture in the Fundamentals of Biochemistry playlist. Here on Biochemistry, I am Hamad Bashir Khan, and through this series, we'll explore how chemistry gives rise to life, molecule by molecule, or you can say word by word, or topic by topic. You can also say it like that. So the lecture set the stage for everything we'll cover later, like in the upcoming lectures for enzymes, metabolism, molecular biology, even drug discovery. All begins from here, understanding what biochemistry actually is. So, what is biochemistry? Biochemistry is simply the study of chemical processes that occur in living organisms. It's where biology and chemistry meet, where atoms become molecules and molecules create life. When you eat an apple, enzymes in your saliva and stomach break down carbohydrates into glucose. That's biochemistry. When glucose converts into energy in your cells through ATP, that's biochemistry again. It's all about understanding life at the molecular level. How proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, and carbohydrates interact to sustain every life function. That's the biochemistry. That think of your body as a chemical factory. Your DNA is the blueprint, enzymes are the worker, and metabolism is the assembly line. So, the core question: how does chemistry creates life? Like it's the biochemistry means chemistry is making life. Bio means life and chemistry. Chemistry, how does chemistry creates life? If you are ever wondered how simple atoms like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen come together to form something as complex as a human brain, that's the miracle of biochemistry. We study how these molecules interact, how they build macromolecules like proteins, how they fold into precise shapes, and how small mistakes can cause diseases. So, biochemistry answers life's most fundamental questions. How does chemistry create life? For instance, a small mutation in a single amino acid of let's take an example of hemoglobin that small mutation in single amino acid of hemoglobin leads to sickle cell anemia. It's a disease, one chemical change and an entire cell behaves differently. So the next thing is why biochemistry matters. Biochemistry is not just a theory, it's the science behind every medical and biological advancement you have ever heard of. Okay, it's the reason we understand how insulin controls blood sugar in diabetes, how antibiotics stop bacterial growth, and how enzymes digest food or detoxify chemicals in your liver. In biotechnology, we use biochemistry to design vaccines, in agriculture, to engineer better crops, and in nutrition, to balance human diets. For example, during the COVID 19 pandemic, the messenger RNA vaccines were developed purely based on biochemical understanding of nucleic acids. That's a perfect example of biochemistry in action. So, that's why the biochemistry matters. In the medicine, agriculture, and biotechnology, in the every field you can explore, there is a biochemistry. Further, we'll study the linkages and relationships of biochemistry with other sciences. That's the core thing that will guide you further, that how biochemistry in our daily life and why biochemistry matters. So the major branches of biochemistry. Let's explore the main branches of biochemistry, each one focusing on a specific molecular aspect of life, like the structure biochemistry. That's a good one. I like it. And it's structure biochemistry. studies how proteins and nucleic acids are built. And then the second one, enzymology, focuses on enzymes functions, kinetics and inhibitions. Metabolic biochemistry, that you can also a course uh, that named metabolism. I was studying our bachelor's and there was a metabolism one, and in the very next semester we had studied the metabolism 2, that's the metabolic biochemistry, and studies every energy generation and pathways like glycolysis or the Krebs cycle and many other cycles. It's some tricky one, but if you understand it, then it's a good one and like a fun type. The molecular biology, I like it also. In vitro workings, how genes are expressed and proteins are made. Then the clinical biochemistry, diagnosing and monitoring diseases. When doctor measure your blood glucose or cholesterol, that's clinical biochemistry in use. Then a nutritional biochemistry, you go to a nutritionist, you see a dietitian, that's a nutrition biochemistry, understanding metabolism of nutrients. Immunochemistry, you can also say it like the immunology, molecular study of immune reactions, and bioinformatics, computational analysis of biological data. So the next one, relationship with other sciences, biochemistry does not stand alone. It's beautifully interconnected with other sciences. Our first, chemistry, as from the name we pick first chemistry, provides the atomic structure and reaction principle. The second one, physics, explain energy changes in reaction. Biology gives us system where those reactions occur. Medicine applies these reactions to diagnose and cure. We have drug development and drug designing, who first consider these, and computer science help analyze and simulate molecular through bioinformatics. Think biochemistry as a bridge connecting molecule to medicine. Our real world applications will include, now let's bring this to real life. Where exactly is biochemistry applied? So in medicine, we identify the biochemical basis of diseases. In pharmacology, we design drugs to block or activate enzymes. In food sciences, we improve nutrition and shelf life of our food. And in environmental science, we use microbes for waste treatment, like in the bioremediation and biofuels. Bioethanol is the best example of the biofuels that will lower the pollution. And in agriculture, we create genetically improved crops. Penicillin, the first antibiotic, was discovered because of understanding biochemical inhibition of bacterial enzymes. That's a good one, example of biochemistry in different fields. So that was real world applications and many others. As previously we have discussed the COVID-19 vaccine, that was also a real world application of biochemistry. So the major question everyone asks about careers in biochemistry is such a broad subject. There are a wide range of career options for biochemistry, but sometimes you have to do your own work. You have to mm, do it by yourself. So, research scientist, everyone who is in biochemistry steps in the research is a scientist, is a research scientist. That may be academic or industry researcher. So, the second one, clinical biochemist, hospital labs, you are taking the patient's bloods and then examining it and then giving their report and anything else. Bioinformatic analyst, that include computational biology. I will start a series on it, like drug discovery and designing and bioinformatic tools. Also start a series on it and be with us to learn those. So molecular biologist, gene and protein work. Also career and pharmaceutical researcher, that will be for the drug development, and lecturer or science communicator like educator, biotech entrepreneur, a biochemist working in a pharma company. might identify a protein target for a new cancer drug, while another might work on vaccine formulation. As the carriers in biochemistry, but through the carriers, you have to work by yourself. You have to be a good skills in your research, in theoretical skills, like you understand everything very well. That's also will give the careers in biochemistry and will give you a good career in biochemistry. That's the point. So the emerging fields, the future of biochemistry is even more exciting, like systems biology, synthetic biology, computational drug design, omics technologies. That will the emerging fields. Let's discuss those. Systems biology, that the studying network of interaction rather than single molecule. Synthetic, designing new life forms of medical or industrial use. And the computational drug design, predicting drug protein binding on computer before lab testing. That will save a lot of time for the researchers. Anomic technology, that include genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, decoding entire biological system. Today AI models can predict how a protein folds, something that once took years of lab work. That will sum up in the computer through AI. That saves a lot of time. Working on many of the molecules in lab, and nowadays you do it on the computer and then select a few of the compounds and then work on those proficient compounds that will give a good binding on those. So summary to summarize today's lecture. Firstly, we discuss about biochemistry introduction. That biochemistry connects chemistry and biology to explain life at the molecular level, and second one, the branches and applications. That it has diverse branches and applications in medicine, industry, and research, and it's the foundation of biotechnology, drug discovery, and clinical diagnosis. Everything alive, from the smallest bacterium to the human body, follows the same biochemical logic. So that was a summary of the biochemistry. So any questions do you have, that you can comment in the comment section and ask me about anything. That was just general lecture. So coming next, in the next lecture we'll explore water and pH, the basic of all biochemical reactions. We'll see why water isn't just a solvent but a vital molecule that defines life itself. So uh, that will be the next lecture, so be with us, and don't forget to like, comment your questions, and subscribe for more deep dive lectures every week. Until next time, keep exploring the chemistry of life. Be with us for the next lecture, and we'll start many other lectures and many other series that includes majors of biochemistry, that are molecular biology, and structural, clinical, and this one. So thank you.